I did, especially, there was one, they had one window that was made of sugar glass, and it was on the first floor. And for some reason, they had the stunt double, Mary Church, jump from that wearing a wig. Now she's jumping from the one floor to the same floor through sugar glass. For my shot, they had a scaffolding thing. It was like 6 to 7 feet up. And they were going to throw the sugar water in my hair as I landed. And by then the sugar glass or whatever it is got all hard because it was so humid outside. And it congealed like a rock, you know, where it was hanging from my hair. And I jumped from the scaffolding, and that was the second window. And the last window where I get away. And you can see my face, I have pictures of it, where I jumped and I'm thinking, the face says, I just broke my ankle. Well, my face says that, and I did sprain it. And that's why at the very end of the movie, instead of running straight and having Leatherface and Ed, catch me, I have to go willy-nilly like this. And they play the willy-nilly game while I limp my way to the end of the movie.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the movie, people are wondering, why is she limping? What has she been through that might possibly
why
make
is
her
she limping? Oh, it's
seems
real.
fine. Other questions? You, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were ever approached to be in one of the sequels, or if you ever wondered what happened to your character after the movie?
Oh, I had many scripts written what happened to Sally. It just didn't happen. Then you never know. Yes, and I was asked to be in the sequel, but there were all kinds of reasons why I didn't. Yeah, and I was in one of them where I wanted to do it, but it wasn't SAG. And so I said, well, I have a good idea. I'll just play a veg on a gurney and run through the end of the movie and no one will ever know it's me. And someone says, oh, you were in the fifth or return to... I said, no, I wasn't. They said, yeah, you were in a gurney. I had to go rent the movie and go, oh my God, I thought it was going to be in the background. Never be on camera if you don't. Never trust anybody. If you get in a film, know they're going to catch you. I wore no makeup, messed up my hair, and sat there acting like a crazy fool, and it shows. It's only for a second, but it's long enough. Close up, you know. So that was unexpected. It was going to be an inside joke, but so much for inside jokes.
There was a question right here.
How was it to be in such terror throughout the whole movie?
It was pretty easy because there were a lot of terror in just filming it. I think the dinner sequence, the way it was shot, I would be tied into that chair that had the arms and the... Yeah, and then they said, we need a gag, and someone gets one off the floor, God knows what it was used for, puts it in my mouth, wraps me with the rope, and then the hitchhiker's screaming at me, and I'm trying to get away from him. My chair falls over, and goes out of the shot, and he goes, the cinematographer goes, damn, she fell out of the shot. Okay, we got enough there. Let's move on to something else. Well, I'm still on the floor there, bound, gagged, and tied, going, you know. I felt, you know, this big, and finally someone said, oh, someone get her, pick her up. You know, it was real easy to feel the love all around you. Yeah, it was pretty terrifying.
Yeah?
Did they have to take breaks from your screaming? Did you lose your voice?
No, that was the fun of it. They were torturing me so bad, and you could see it. Like, they actually cut my finger because they couldn't get the stupid thing to work, the fake thing. So they said, oh, we'll just cut her finger. Well, the only way I could get back at anybody, the director, the cast, the torturers, was to scream, and I knew they hated that. So that's the one thing I did enjoy. And you bet I wasn't going to lose my voice over that. When it came time for me to scream, I didn't hear cut. I just sat there and merrily screamed, and it got as big as it could, and tried to make it bigger, and thinking, I know you hate me. This is for those last 40 takes, you know.
Was there a question on this side over here that I saw? I thought I saw somebody's hand. I guess not. All right. I know there was another one, though. Yes?
How about, do you have a most memorable or most terrifying scene? Because you go through quite a bit.
Yeah, they were all memorable, actually. The most terrifying was the very end of the movie. What was terrifying about it was I thought everything was wrapped, everything was finished. I said goodbye to those jeans full of Hershey syrup and red food coloring, and my hair I finally washed, and it was just getting the stuff out of it. And they called me back and said, "Oh, Marilyn, we didn't get the film. We got to shoot the ending again." That's why at the very end, when I'm just totally gone and screaming and crying and hee, which is really uncomfortable when I watched it tonight, I was crazy, you know?
Back at that time, there weren't a lot of, I mean, this one kind of set the table for the kids in danger from monolithic serial killer guy movies. And did you know when you were reading the script exactly what you were getting into? I mean, was it laid out? You're going to be tortured for 2 months.
No, at first it was called Head Cheese, and I thought, oh, I want to be in the movie so bad. Okay, Head Cheese. And then it was called something else. It was equally as horrible. And so it was embarrassing, whatever the second title was. Oh, I think it was going to be called Leatherface. Well, Leatherface, that wasn't very. But Warren Scarron of the Texas Film Commission said, I know what to call it. We're going to call it Texas, because everybody likes to know about Texas. Chainsaw Massacre.
Nice.
Now, what could be more beautiful? When it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I thought, hey, perhaps there's a possibility there. Well, we might get some audience, you know? Because people just go see that just for the very fact that it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's pretty weird. And it did weird out the audience.
Yeah, in the back.
Yeah, I thought that your role was like kind of central to the whole movie, but I know there's a lot of people that feel like the guy with the chainsaw is like, you know, really running things in the movie and whatnot, and deserve the most attention. I mean, what do you feel about that? 'Cause I don't perceive him doing much outside of running with the chainsaw while you're really like conveying these intense emotions.
Well, every part's different. I don't think Terry enjoyed being on the meat hook with the contraption they invented for her. You know, everybody got their own fun and games. Bill Ville came on very close to that chainsaw when he first went in the house. And the Hitchhiker, we all had our share of good times. I mean, everybody, cast and crew, should be complimented on what they went through to get this thing finished. And each one did a lot of research on their character. I know Gunnar did a great amount of research on how Leatherface should behave. Edwin Neal already had a good grip. I really just had to be there at the moment and imagine what was happening. And I think one of the best things that happened was Franklin. Franklin, I thought was Franklin. I thought Paul Pertain was Franklin. It was 20 years later that I realized Paul Pertain was a nice guy. And he said, we went to a show and he went, you know, Marilyn, I didn't mean to be all that crazy and mean and nasty on the set, but I didn't want to lose character and have y'all not like me and then make my character not look good. I mean, there were times when Toby would yell cut and he'd go, Sally, get me a coat, get me a coat. I'd say, get off your own coat. You know, you can get your own coat, Franklin. Go get it, you know, come on, Paul. And he'd go, wah! And I just wanted to kill him. I thought he was really the character. He's the nicest guy, I just didn't know it for 20 years. So everybody went through their own share of hell to get there.
And that's why his death takes the longest.
Oh, maybe so. It was great, you know, the same like with the Screamer. Let's torture the hell out of him.
Yes?
What's it like watching it now after so long? Like, how do you feel when you see yourself on the screen?
Like I said, it's still a shocker, you know. I can't. It's amazing that it still lasted this long. You know, that's what most amazing thing is.
When they came out with that remake that I referenced earlier, did you just kind of roll your eyes, or is that just part of, you know, is it great that it's being remembered and the new generation wants it for their own?
I thought it was great that it was being remembered. You know, I was very happy about that. That was great. Who would have thought?
Not at the time, anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
How was working with Toby?